Yo, what is going on, people? Welcome to Throwdown, episode 429. I'm your host, Tony Polanco, and tonight I'm joined by Emilio Lopez,
Sup, people? How's it going?
Carlos Romero. Yo.
Yo.
There he is. Brett Murdoch.
What up, people?
And Brian Manjoma.
What up?
All right, man, we're back with another one just at the top of the show. Apologies if I sound a little weird. I got the sniffles because it's that time of year, people. You already know, so forgive me.
Those transitional phases.
Yeah, exactly. They get you, man. No Chris action. He is down for the count, and we will be checking his Steam to make sure he's not playing any games. Yo, I'm telling you, man. Last time he's like, I'm too tired. We see this motherfucker on Steam playing Resident Evil.
Yeah. He's sick. He's got the T virus.
Exactly. Yeah.
Oh wait, no, he's got Las
Plagas.
That's
there
it.
you go. Yeah. But I obviously I'm not going to begrudge it when playing a video game on a video game podcast. Whenever I hear those little clicky clacks in the background, I feel proud inside. You know. Good stuff.
With Chris for like 2 years, it was just the GTA sounds on the controller.
That's right. Like, oh shit, what you're playing? I know what you're playing. You know. Who we got in the house? We got Logic Wins, man. Jay Shep, Barry Burton. You already know, man. All right. So we got another show for you. One of these weeks, you know, it's been a lot of these weeks, I should say. Slow, not a lot happened, but some interesting stuff to talk about regardless, you know. So what do we have here? You know what? I'll save this one for later. Let's talk about this new PlayStation handheld. Manny, what is going on?
Apparently a leak happened pretty recently that Sony is going to be working on a fully streaming platform of a handheld platform. So think a remote play console or handheld.
Oh, yeah, and it's like only for PS5, right, or something like that. Like,
they're saying it's only for PS5.
Yeah, again, this is something this thing's short. I'll read this. This is from Tom Henderson, who's a notorious character in the game industry. A lot of reports leaks. Some people trust him, some people doubt him. So, take that how you will. Anyway, he goes, following days of speculation, Insider Gaming, which is the publication he writes for, can report that there's a new PlayStation handheld in development, codenamed the Q Lite. The next PlayStation handheld is the next piece of Sony hardware that aims to be yet another piece of hardware that requires the PlayStation 5. Insider Gaming understands that the Q Lite is not a cloud streaming service, but instead uses remote play with the PlayStation 5, a feature the console giant has been pushing these past couple of weeks. Sporting adaptive streaming up to 1080p and 60 frames a second, the new device will require constant connectivity to the internet. As for the console's physical features, an early prototype show the console will look a lot like the PlayStation 5 controller, but with a massive 8-inch LCD touchscreen in the center. The device sports adaptive triggers for haptic feedback and will include what you would come to expect from a handheld: volume buttons, speakers, and audio input jack, etc. Insider Gaming understands that the Q Lite is in QA phase and is scheduled to release before the PlayStation 5 Pro and after the detachable disk drive PS5. Guess these things are coming. As previously mentioned by insider Jeff Grubb, Sony is planning to announce its quote-unquote second phase of the PS5, which was referenced in its future game slate. Ironically, though, his second phase is very much true to Sony's hardware offerings, with the new detachable disk drive PS5, Project Nomad, wireless earphones, Project Voyager, wireless headset, and Q-Lite handheld, all scheduled to release within a very short time period. It's understood that the PS5 Pro is aiming for holiday 2024. Okay, so that's next year. So whenever Sony's next PlayStation showcase will be, it's seemingly going to be a big one. Interesting. That's a lot of shit coming from PlayStation,
Supposedly.
Yeah, supposedly, according to these reports. So I don't understand the purpose of this quote unquote handheld, because it's like, if you know what I'm saying,
because it's funny. I actually mentioned this in reply to the electric playground. So they were like, they asked on there like, hey, do you want to, what would you think about this thing? And I'm like, well, the thing is like, I ride the train. We ride the train. If you ride the subway, you know how the subway is. On the platform you get full service,
Yeah.
and then in the tunnels you don't. So that means that when you're remote playing your game, you're going to constantly be cutting out and reconnecting. So what's the use?
Yeah, that's pointless.
Yeah. And not to mention, like, I would have to say this, like, like most shitty normal Wi-Fi is like public Wi-Fi or even other services are not very good. So you're telling me you're not only, and then not to mention, PlayStation's remote play service is still pretty shitty, even to this day.
Yeah.
If it can't run, like, how many times has Brett talked about how shitty it runs through his own Wi-Fi, right?
Yeah.
Hey, that's not my Wi-Fi. That is definitely
no. It's not your Wi-Fi.
network
It's not your Wi-Fi at all. It's whatever bullshit. Whatever way that they're pushing stuff over, and they're not even pushing it like, this used to happen on the previous one on the the play when you had remote play running on PlayStation Vita. It never ran well. And I haven't tried it on PC in years, but still, I don't know. I don't trust Sony's infrastructure to be able to handle something like this, and then it'll just be a less than desirable situation. So,
Yeah, I don't know about this. Like, just the fact that like it needs constant connectivity to the internet, that's already a fail right there.
Well, it's an epic fail because if the rumors are true, why the hell only make a remote play thing? I understand streaming only, but doesn't Sony have a streaming service apart from remote play? Like,
yeah,
the
don't they have
don't
they have a specific streaming service for all of this? It's almost like they're literally cutting their own companies out of these things. It's kind of silly.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so that maybe the reports aren't telling the whole details, which it's probably likely. But it would make sense if it had connectivity to the PlayStation Plus higher tier services.
Yeah.
Kind of like how I've been clamoring for Xbox to do sort of a Surface tablet, an Xbox branded Surface tablet that just does Game Pass. That would be a great sell for them. It looks like Sony's kind of doing something like this, but if it's only remote play, then it's an epic fail.
Yeah.
Epic fail.
Epic fail. Yeah, no, again, I'm rereading this just to make sure I didn't miss it. No, you need to be constantly connected to the internet. That alone just makes this device worthless. I don't fucking get it.
It makes it useless. Like, I could see if it was an all digital console, right?
Yeah.
Right.
Okay.
And
sure.
then it was an all digital console. It runs remote play and it runs your it runs what is it Gaikai or PlayStation Now.
Yeah. So I mean, I don't totally agree with you guys. There is still a lot of use cases. Yeah, the subway stuff is definitely a big issue with that. In general, what I've experienced, in the last couple of years is 5G and 4G and ultra band and all the other stuff. It's been pretty good. It's been reliable and consistent for me, at least. We'll see how it is.
Have you been running remote play recently?
No, but I guess what I'm saying, if it's remote play, then it's an epic fail. But if it's the PlayStation Now stuff, then maybe that's a better way to handle it. I don't trust remote play. In general.
The fact that you have to have your console on and in sleep mode,
yeah,
and all of that silliness.
I mean, it's cool to have the feature. I'm just saying, if that's the only feature that it has, then that's not a good look. But I think Sony. I'm gonna give Jimbo the benefit of the doubt and say that PS Now is gonna be at the heart of what this thing is gonna do.
Hopefully, if that's the case, like, you're right. If it doesn't require remote play, like you need, okay, if it requires constant internet connection but not remote play, like you can just use, like you said, 5G or whatever, I guess that's okay. Like, yeah, if you're like hanging out in Central Park or whatever, you're probably going to be okay, or but like, yeah, again, it's like, and I'm speaking just for myself, it's like, I don't really take any system outside. So it's like, why am I going to remote play with this thing when I have a PlayStation 5 right there on my big TV, you know?
Yeah, I mean, this could be for the people that are traveling in a car or maybe an above ground train or in a
L
park,
train, baby.
going to the L train, going to the grandma's house, and then grandma doesn't have the PlayStation 5, so gotta have something and bring that console out and remote play your own and stuff like that. So
okay, yeah, you see, under that case, then I could see the worth of it, But if it's remote play, man,
if it's just remote play, then that's tough.
Yeah,
that's really tough.
And Sony's been pushing remote play recently. I haven't heard any of this.
No, I haven't. I actually haven't used or heard of remote play in a while.
This is, for me, is pointless, But yeah, so you know what, Carlos? I think you swayed me over to your side. I'll give Sony a little bit of a benefit of the doubt here, or at least assume they're not going to be as stupid as to just make this remote play only.
Yeah. That would be dumb.
I don't know.
Mighty nerd. I love Mighty Nerd's like theories, man. He's like, the console will be a PlayStation 4 Pro built on TSMC 6nm node in the form of a phone.
Honest, I feel like a lot of this.
Everyone needs a phone.
Yeah. Here's the thing. I think a lot of this is leveraging the stuff that they have already, but instead of having to develop something fully new, they're just using whatever they have. Hey, look, we took a PlayStation and attached it to a screen. A PlayStation controller and attached it to a screen. There we go.
So, I mean, do we think it's going to have its own dedicated game? Like, we don't actually. Nobody actually thinks it's going to have.
Oh, hell no! That's
no way.
Nobody actually thinks it's going to play PlayStation 5 games, do they?
It's going to be able to. It's going to be able to stream PlayStation 5 games.
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying. Like,
that's why they're not committing. Yeah. That's why they're not committing to any sort of thing. They don't want to develop a whole new console because they already had that.
I'm hearing two different things.
Are you?
I'm hearing. Okay, so is it going to be a dedicated streaming device? And you're like, that would be stupid. Okay, well, if it's not just dedicated,
no, we're not saying that. We're saying if it's just remote play, that's stupid. But if it's a streaming device you could play with 5G, that's okay. Understand? It's the remote play part we have a problem with. Understand?
Okay.
Yeah, the streaming part is not.
The streaming part's not the issue.
So that's the issue. But their remote play system is not the greatest.
Yeah.
Does remote play integrate with your, like, if you're playing God of War, can you just pick it up and and stream God of War from like your game and then go home and pick it back up on the PlayStation?
You can do it now with the current Vita or your PC. It reads your save. All it is just broadcasting what you're currently playing on your PlayStation. That's all it's doing.
Well, that's remote play, not streaming.
Yeah, that is remote.
Yeah,
yes,
that's what
exactly.
it is. It's remote play.
And I'm saying, is your streaming experience going to be integrated with your standard experience? Like,
I don't think they're gonna. I don't think it's going to be any. At least from what the perception that these guys seem to be putting out, it's just a remote play console, and that's it.
That's what it seems like.
It doesn't involve any of their streaming service at all. It seems.
That would, okay. That right there just seems stupid to me.
Hold on, Brett. You bring up a good point, though. Okay, again, and this is just assumptions right now because that's all we have. Okay, let's say you're playing this over PlayStation Now, right? Their streaming service, right? Is your progress? Let's say you're playing God of War, you get up to a certain point. Is that going to be saved, and then can you pick up again on your PlayStation console like where you left off? Because if that doesn't happen, that's a fail too.
Yeah, I mean they'd have to pretty much make it seamless.
Yeah.
If it's running remote play, it's saving it directly to your console. So yes, you should be able to do it.
Because I would be stupid too.
Dude, we did this already with the PlayStation Vita and the PlayStation Portable. When you played remote play on both of those things, it's all you doing is essentially it's throwing video at your thing and it's sending your control inputs to your console. That's all it's doing.
I know, but I'm not asking that. I'm asking if we're using PlayStation's cloud servers, not remote play, right? But I'm gonna guess if you're using the cloud servers, it should be able to save your progress. But Brett, do you at least understand what we mean between the difference between remote play?
I do, and like, I think you understand what I'm saying. Like, it's I can see all the pieces there. It's just a question of like, is it going to be seamlessly integrated? Is it going to function well? Like, remote play hasn't worked well.
Nope.
Like, it's the only time I've seen remote play work well is when Steam did it.
Yeah, because think about it like this: remote play. If you leave your PlayStation off, you're screwed. you can't remote play shit. You know. So yeah, I don't know. It'll be interesting to see what comes of this. And my other question is, was this in demand? Like, were people asking for something like this? Very strange.
I think that there's responding to the deck, man. Like, let's be honest.
Yeah, we got a story about that too coming up.
Most of these companies are tone deaf enough to be like, oh, so people just like portable. I see Nintendo did a portable and Steam did a portable. Portables are the in thing right now, so that's all we got to do is just make it portable.
Oh, but to quote you, Manny, but toe dip there, you knew it. The toe dip.
That's what this is. This is a total toe dip. It's not even them committing to anything.
Yo, man, you never get a nail in that motherfucker.
Exactly.
Yeah. Brian, did I hear you in there trying to get in?
Yeah. Okay. I think the whole thing is just dumb beyond belief. Like, it seemed like it's so out of touch. Like who is this made for? Like who actually is asking for this and just this? It makes no sense on so many levels. It's like, okay, it's just limited to remote play. Why?
The remote play.
Considering that you can already do, I think that you can already remote play from your phone as is, and you can just hook that up with like a controller, and then plus you have it on the Steam Deck, so you pretty much have it on everything else that matters. So you asking people to go out that have phones and or a Steam Deck to say, hey, go out and buy this device just to stream your PS5 games that you already can stream now on most things you have.
Yeah, no, you're right. That's a great point. You're right. Like, why would anybody here, any of us with Steam Decks, want this thing? Right? Like, come on. Now.
I would just prefer them to have a new console, man. Just stop this bullshit, man.
You're getting a new one, baby, with that PS5 Pro.
Or either that, or just make your, obviously you want to do your little Stadia. So then do PlayStation fucking Stadia then.
We're going to talk about that too later on.
I will mention what my reasoning would be if I were to release this console, which could be completely different to Sony's reasoning, because Sony does whatever the hell they do. For me, it's
Jimbo says.
Jimbo. What if I were to give Jimbo the benefit of the doubt? This is it's always a toe dip, Manny. Always a freaking toe dip. And this is their toe dip to try to get people to subscribe to PS Now. That's what this is, because you need people to get excited for it. And they, so far I don't even know who the hell is excited for PS Now other than the hardcore Sony fanboys.
Yeah, you're right.
So it's because I've always and I mentioned this earlier in the show. That's what if I was like, I just had my Phil Spencer hat on and I'm like, bro, just release the freaking an Xbox branded Surface and you'll get people to play Game Pass on it. It'd be like, okay, here's an Xbox Surface. It looks cool. It's got some Halo and some Gears and some other stuff on it. And then it comes with a 1 month pass of Game Pass where, people play Game Pass on that tablet. And once after that month is over, people are just re-enrolled and now they're paying and people forget. And that's how they get you. But that's how I thought Microsoft should do it, and that's and that's what I'm kind of seeing with Sony. But obviously, it's a toe dip as a regards to the Steam Deck, which is a toe dip, or not even a toe dip. It's a response to the Switch. So it's that's all it is. It's they're trying to get their hands on all these markets that could potentially help for their services.
Yeah. Jay Shep, what's going on, brother? He goes, I don't even know the difference between PlayStation Now and PlayStation Plus. I thought they were the same thing. They kind of are now.
Yeah, they are. We just say now. PlayStation Now because we always forget what tier is a streaming tier. What is it? Is it bronze? I don't know.
Yeah.
I just call it PS. We even do Gaikai because we're
we
that
don't
old.
know. Real quick, J-Shep, you said this twice already. I want to talk about this. He goes, no way Sony would toe dip in a recession. Yes, they would. The way they're seeing it, I'm like, fuck. We have a recession and we're still selling out fucking consoles. These people will buy anything we want, so... or anything we release, so they absolutely would do this. Though in their eyes, they're winning, which they are obviously. What was PlayStation's numbers? We talked about this last week. It was like just fucking selling out everywhere, So yeah, they would. They're like the way they see it. They could take this chance because they're doing so well, And we'll see. And if this thing's priced right, you never know, man. Although I think, man, even charging $200 might be too much for this shit. If it's just a streaming but then again, we've seen streaming consoles cost a lot more than this too, So I don't know. It would be screwed up, but listen, man, that's the way these corporations are, bro.
What about now hasn't told you all these companies are just fucking people over? I mean, some of these places are just firing people just to fire people. It's not like they're losing any money. They just never hit the projections that they set for themselves.
Yep.
Because they're all butthurt because they're not making the same amount of money during the pandemic as they did during the pandemic time.
I'm not gonna rant about that shit. It's like, guys, like that was a different situation. But yeah, any more thoughts on this PlayStation handheld Project Q Lite, whatever the fuck it's called?
Yeah, I think the whole thing is just dead in the water. It's dead on arrival.
Yeah, dead on arrival.
I mean, this is the same company that brought you the PSVR 2, the thing that no one really asked for, and is floundering. This is also the same company, and I want to reiterate this because I remember that there was a certain one person, and I said that on purpose, who defended when I raised up the point that the PlayStation was it? Is it the Vita TV thing?
Yeah.
And I said this thing has no audience and it's going to die, and then it died. But a certain one person was saying otherwise because his friends wanted to play the Vita on TV, and it's like, no, the company doesn't understand that all people wanted was a Vita that you just dock or plug in and output to a TV, like a fucking Steam Deck or Switch could. It's like this company just doesn't seem to understand that. Just keep things simple. If you make a handheld, put out some games for it. Or allow it to play your library somehow. Keep it simple. Like don't just say, okay, it's streaming only. Like why? Have it connect to your streaming service or something. Make it make sense.
Yeah.
That just not doing that. So yeah, I also have no faith in this at all. To be fair.
Yeah, it's looking kind of suspect. Jay Shep is asking me if this was exactly like the Steam Deck, how much would you pay for it? It's not going to be exactly like the Steam Deck because it's a streaming thing. Like for it to be like the Steam Deck, it has to play games locally, which it's not going to. So, kind of a moot point there, And I would be fucking impressed if we get a PlayStation 5 in such a small case, But we're not going to see anything like that for a long time, Although it will happen eventually because technology and all that. By the way, shout out to Moore. He passed away. Was it 2 weeks ago? The guy who came up with Moore's Law. Yeah, that's what I meant by everything getting smaller. Hypothetically, that's a hypothetical I can't go to because we already know for a fact this is not going to be it's not going to play games locally. It's only going to be streaming. So you can't make up a hypothetical when we already have facts there, even though it is a rumor too, But you know what? Let's have some fun with it. How much would I pay for a portable PlayStation 5? No price. No, I'm good. I got a PlayStation 5 right there, I have. I'm good already, And again, even with the Steam Deck, I mostly bought it, and I've said this many times, I mostly bought it because I wanted to support the technology and to, kind of throw a little fist at Nintendo, It's like, I knew I was going to be playing this thing a lot. I'm not a handheld gamer like that. I like to play on my big TV, but I like supporting cool tech, And shout out to Valve. They did it. They did it right. They fucked up with the Steam machines, but they did this shit right. And now, because of the Steam Deck, everybody's jumping on board, We're going to talk about that in a bit, Anyway, let's move on here. Another PlayStation story. But this one is not a rumor. This is like, it's a patent for this shit. So it's like, obviously, patent doesn't mean something is going to come out, but it means, hey, someone's thinking about this. And what's interesting about the story is that we actually heard it here first on Throwdown about 3 years ago from our good friend, Mr. Hip Hop Gamer. One of the things he talked about was that PlayStation was going to develop a controller that changes temperature. That's what this patent says. So, give respect where it's due, man. It's crazy.
Wait, repeat that again?
Okay.
That sounded weird.
Okay. Maybe you don't remember this, Carlos. Remember when Hip Hop Gamer was telling us about the remastering engine and all that stuff?
Yeah.
So one of the things he said is that Sony is working on a controller that changes temperature.
Oh, yeah. I remember it. So Hip Hop was going over all the different patents that Sony was going after.
Yeah. And this is so this patent is real, but like I said, just because a patent exists doesn't mean it actually come out,
Yeah, they're just putting the line in the sand, that they have an idea, but it doesn't exactly mean if it's ever going to come out. All that stuff for like they wouldn't call it remastering engine, but they did have a patent to essentially configure whatever, to be able to run games natively, but it never came to fruition.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. So just real quick, I'm not going to read this whole thing. Just a couple bits of it. This is from Dextero. Sony has filed a new patent for a controller that can alter its temperature depending on what's happening in the game. The patent, which was published on March 30th, was only just begun to surface. Okay, so that's interesting, My question is, do you guys want anything like that? I'm like, that sounds kind of gimmicky.
No.
That sounds stupid. Imagine you're playing a fun game. You fucking burn your hand, drop the controller and shit, I don't know. That sounds like a gimmick to me. Maybe Adam would like it.
It's a total gimmick.
No,
I just
put it on my body.
I suppose I can't wait to have a hot controller in my hand so they can sweat more when I'm playing video games.
But okay, I can understand how it could create heat. What about cold? Like, is it gonna have like Freon or whatever the fuck it's called? Like,
like a heat pump?
Yeah, I don't know. Like, what's the shit inside of air conditioners? Like,
bro, I just want the controllers with the fans and the grips.
Yeah. So you're gonna have little fans. Oh shit, it's cold.
Yeah, and watch it lose the battery life on that thing.
Yeah, right.
The current one.
I was just about to say the same thing. It's like Sony seems to be just wanting to say, hey, let's just add all this stuff onto controllers. It's like, how about adding battery life to the controllers,
I would like to see a patent. I'd like to see a patent for a battery that lasts for more than for more than 3 hours or something.
Yeah. Like, this is exactly what I mean by, like, the company just doesn't seem to understand things. It's like, hey, let's make this thing that people don't really want. It's like, no, just keep it simple. Like, people want more battery in controllers, but yet they're adding more stuff to it. It's like, hey, let's just add more features. And then the thing that gets me as well is, like, you're going to run up against issues with thermodynamics and how the thing's going to work. Again, as Tony said, how's it going to cool down? Like... There are laws of thermodynamics for a reason. You can't bypass them. So either it needs to have some sort of coolant in there that somehow works, which raises so many other problems, or to have some fans that just blow cold air.
So
will be shit.
Right here it says it uses a macromolecular gel material to create both the temperatures and sensations, because apparently it's gonna have you could like grip it and like actions will happen. What the fuck is a macromolecular gel material? That's that's some Star Trek shit. Jordy just said that shit.
Captain,
macromolecular gel material.
Did you say
it's the thermal gel from Mass Effect. It only does everything.
Yeah, macromolecular.
So bigger than molecules?
Yes.
Wow. Like, anything. Just. Oh, Jesus Christ! That's just such a dumb. I'm done right there, man. Macromolecular. Fuck me.
I'm telling you, that's some Star Trek shit.
They're just invoking some of those goofball of fake science words like Star Trek: The Next Generation.
That's what I'm saying. Star Trek.
Yeah.
Yo, man, it runs on tachyon, son.
Yeah, Logic Wind goes, yeah, you're right. That all sounds cool, but are you willing to deal with 30 minutes of battery life for it? Keep that shit plugged in, you know? Barry Byrne goes, in my day, we had one button and you press it and we were all happy it worked. Yeah, this sounds
Actually, it
dumb.
didn't work so well. If you're talking Atari, that controller was a piece of garbage.
Yeah, this sounds stupid. It's like this other more say is dumb, you know?
What was that? Was that the enzymes coagulate to what was that thing from Dave Chappelle? It was, I think it was Redman. He's like, "Yo, man, and the enzymes collaborate."
Remember from In Living Color, Damon Wayans, like he was like the smart guy in jail, but like all the words he used were all wrong. When you gesticulate the ovulation.
Exacerbate my acrylization with this impeneration.
Exactly. When you erect the phallus into the vestibular fortitude, it's like, dude, you're just throwing words out there. Oh man! All right, let's move on. Hey, okay, we gotta talk about this fucking Asus fucking handheld. Everybody's doing it. You know, and by the way, I am saying that name correctly. I asked the company reps themselves, how do you say your fucking name? I didn't say fucking, obviously, because I always said Asus, right? You know, like the whole time, like, or because I was like, it can't be Asus. So I was like, Jesus. No, it's Asus. So now they have their own handheld coming out. The Ally, the ROG Ally. It's a Steam Deck like handheld gaming PC. Runs on Windows 11. And we don't have a release date for it yet, but, you know, kind of interesting. And what's cool about this thing is you could plug it into Asus's, like, external GPU, so you could get, like, a lot of, like, fucking graphical power out of this. But my question to you guys is this going to be enough to compete with the Steam Deck? Because it seems like the Steam Deck is, like, pretty well, like, entrenched. You know, it's going to be pretty hard to topple. But this will play games natively. It's not streaming, you know, so that's already a plus.
I mean, can we just be real for a minute? Sony has never made a product as good as the Steam Deck.
Yeah, well, this isn't Sony. This is Asus.
Like, well, hey, nothing's going to top the Steam Deck, man. Like, it is... I don't even try to how to say it. It is one of the most quality pieces of engineering I've seen in a long fucking time. If you're going to try and beat it simply on quality and technical specs, you're not going to be able to touch their price point. It's, yeah, I mean, in a few years maybe, but like by the time, like I think Valve's on top of that. I think that's when we'll be getting the Steam Deck too. They're not trying to rush it, but
no. And I'm glad you bring that up because there actually are a couple of other handhelds out there that are more powerful than the Steam Deck, but the thing is they cost a lot more and they haven't really taken off. And this one,
there's also that Magic X Factor. Like, it's tough to put into words, but when each of you put the Steam Deck in your hands, immediately all you went, ooh, yeah, like it feels right, man.
The fun thing about the Steam Deck, and Brett, I don't know if you had this experience too. Like when you like just take it out the box, you're like, damn, this thing looks fucking huge. So you're expecting it to be heavy, right? And cumbersome. And you take it out, you're like, whoa, hold on a second here.
Yeah, but it feels solid.
No, but that's what I'm saying. You're like, whoa, this is lighter than I expected. That was literally the reaction I had from everybody at the office when I took it in. I had the Steam Deck like behind me, and people were like, yo, look at that big fucking thing. I'm like, hold it. They're like, oh, shit. You know, because it's so light. It's like the weight distribution is perfect on this thing, you know? Anyway,
it's not like I'm not even trying to like sound like, you know, like Steam Deck fanboy. Like the thing is just a solid quality piece of engineering that like I have seen maybe a couple times in my life. Like something that seems like it's built to genuinely last and do its job and take a beating like that. Like it doesn't happen very often, man.
Yeah, no, it doesn't. But, by the way, I kind of forgot to mention the most funny thing about this product. You know when it was announced? On April 1st, on a Saturday.
Wah, wah.
So people were like, fuck out of here, right? So on Monday, Asus had a tweet, this is real. This is not a joke. This is real. And then some tech YouTuber, I think it's Dave2D, he actually had it in hand and stuff. So it was like, okay, this is real. But it's like, that's a bad time to announce anything, guys. That was a weird day, too, if you saw some of those fucking gaming stories coming out, you know? Anyway, go ahead, Manny.
Unless you're going to put like a novelty out, like a silly, goofy novelty, like that Sonic murder mystery game. You know, come on.
Yeah. New Kick Z, I believe that's a new name. What's going on, brother? He goes, I honestly think it's amazing that more companies are delving into the handheld space. This will make handhelds more affordable for us gamers. I agree with that. Keep them coming, you know, because competition is always a good thing, you know. I want somebody to. I wrote about this thing for my work, and I'm like, yeah, I want this thing to be a good competitor for Steam Deck because I want Valve to keep pushing it forward. I want other companies to keep pushing forward, and we'll all win. You know, we can't just have the fucking Nintendo Switch be the dominant handheld. That piece of shit. You know, we need some real stuff out there. It will because it's the cheapest one, but still, go ahead.
Not to mention the biggest thing, at least for a lot of us. That are kind of legacy gamers here. When we when we have the Steam Deck, and then Valve comes up with a Steam Deck Part 2, or the Super Steam Deck, or the Steam Deck U, or whatever the hell it's going to be called, but it's not going to have a 3 on it. I know that. We know that the Steam Deck library is going to be available from day one. When Nintendo comes up with a Switch 2 or the Switch U, I'm pretty sure, unless they surprise me, they're gonna flip the Switch and it's like, oh yeah, the games you have for the Switch, yeah, that's cool, but you have to buy those all over again for the new console. So
yeah, but of course the Nintendo fans will be more than happy to do that. You know, buy Mario Kart again. You know,
when is the new Smash Brothers character gonna be announced?
You know, but you're right, man. You get that Steam Deck. You already know, man. You already know you're good to go. Yo, by the way, Carlos, Steam Deck 2, day one.
Oh yeah,
my man. Gotta support.
Day one all day. Yo, man, that's the Steam Deck. They did it right. This is how you do it. I always give props to Valve, even when they mess up and don't release a Portal 3. Like. They got it, they did this right, and they failed with the Steam machines. The Steam controller was, I wouldn't say that was a failure, but it just wasn't the big hit that it came out. But with this, they knocked it off the park. It's a valid competitor to the Switch. For me, it's light years ahead.
Oh yeah.
I have all my games. I'm not even sure if all of them are compatible, but I'm pretty sure most of them are. So that's going to get even better as soon as more people are buying the Steam Decks, which they are.
Yep.
And Valve keeps supporting it. So can't wait.
Yeah, and games will become compatible like in time. What I found funny was like because this was announced recently too that Cyberpunk was Steam verified. I'm like, I've been playing that thing on Steam Deck since the fucking console came out, and it was running fine. It even had a dedicated Steam Deck mode within the settings, So even games that aren't verified can work well, as Adam can attest to,
Yeah,
I've been playing that since day one,
that the Rockstar's table tennis wasn't verified, but it wasn't on the Steam Deck library either. But we'll talk about that.
Man. But yeah, we'll see what this new thing. We don't know when the hell it's going to come out. But announcing it on April Fool's is fucking hilarious.
Yo, Tony, what's the only thing that can't run on the Steam Deck?
What?
Metal Gear Solid 4.
Man,
man, we tried our best. We were like, oh, okay, let's do the instructions and install this. It took for fucking ever. Man, what a goose egg, man.
And I had to let that thing like run overnight just to download that fucking thing. Jesus, for nothing, for nothing.
Not even barely the menu screen.
Yeah, man. Well, got to blame the fucking the cell processor for that shit, man. Bullshit, Mr. Davis.
Fuck the cell.
All right. Yeah. Brian, you have any thoughts on this? The Asus handheld?
Yeah, it's not going to work. It's too expensive.
Yeah. What do you think the price is going to be, Brian?
At least 1,000. I mean, just looking at how powerful it is and how capable it is, it's like that thing's going to cost a lot. I mean, we're already seeing that the Iron Neo costing like 600, 700. So this can easily be like 800 plus. And again, who is going to want to pay that much money when unfortunately the Steam Deck's there at half, a third of the price?
What's the other one I'm thinking? Is that how you not pronounce it too? Iron Neo? Yeah, you're right. That one's like close to $1,000. There's another one. It's like Win 4, something. Forget the name of it.
Oh yeah, the GPD.
Yeah. That one. That's also up there as well. Both of those are more powerful than the Steam Deck, but they cost more. This shit looks like it's gonna be probably that. So I'm with you, Brian. I think it's probably gonna be $1,000. You know. And then think about it like this, right? Again, for me, the coolest feature is being able to connect it to that the external GPU. You know how much that thing costs? $2,000.
Oh,
you know? So it's like shit.
Hold on a second. Let me just realize something. This is the new fucking Tower of Power right here.
That's 32X all over again.
$500 system and like a $600 headset. And a $1,000 streaming device.
$600 headset. Man, what the fuck are you listening to?
And a $200 rumble kit.
You know, yo, man, buy a $20 pair of headphones, man. They got a headphone jack.
It uses Bose technology.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, no, I'm talking about the VR. But like if you got the whole fucking ecosystem, like the PS5 is the base system, and then all the shit that can be bolted onto it, the VR headset. This thing, the extra. This
is not anything related with the PlayStation at all. This is Asus, dude.
No, I know. I'm sorry. My brain went back to like handheld Sony and the handheld. Like,
you're just trying to drag Sony through the mud, man.
No, I just have nothing to say about
everything
Asus.
that sucks is made by Sony. Damn it.
No, I just have nothing to say about Asus, and that's more damning of a statement.
Damn. All right, fair enough.
Obviously, we are not going to be sponsored by Asus at all.
I like Asus, man. They make good stuff. As a matter of fact, both of my monitors here are Asus monitors. You know. Anyway, talking about condemnation, we got to talk about the Mario movie. Controversy in the industry. You know. I'm just making shit up, but no, but so the movie came out on Wednesday, right? My typical American ass, right? So I wake up, I see the audience scores. I'm like, how the hell are you guys doing? Like it's 9 a.m. How are you giving this scores? I forgot about the rest of the world. You know, it's already like the future for them. You know, but listen, back in the day, we used to get the movies first. You know, so I still have that mentality. You know, it's America, motherfucker. We make that.
This is Hollywood.
You know. Anyway,
not Bollywood.
Yeah. So I don't know what the ratings are now, but initially it was like 53% of the critics didn't like it, which is rotten on Rotten Tomatoes, and like 98% of the fans, the audience liked it. And some of the like the criticism seems interesting to me. And remember, I am saying this as a person who has no interest in this movie whatsoever, don't care, will not watch it, don't give a shit, right? But I still find some of this stuff kind of weirdly unfair, right? One of the critics said, and I don't know what publication it was, they said that the movie relies too much on fan service and nostalgia. I'm like, interesting. I'm pretty sure your publication raved about No Way Home, which is nothing but fan service, you know?
When did it become bad to give fans things that make them happy? Fuck, like, what was the, Ready Player One was nothing but fan service. Like, I'm not saying it's the most, highbrow or intellectual art form, but like, Jesus Christ, just what's so wrong with making your fans happy?
I don't know. I mean, what's the opposite of fan service, Brett?
Fan baiting?
Yeah, because that's all the rave now, you know?
Yeah, well, like, and here's the thing, like, it's a Mario movie. It's a movie fueled entirely by nostalgia. of middle-aged men trying to share their childhood with their children. What do you mean it's built out of fan service? How can it have too much fan service?
Yeah, you bring up a good point.
Yeah.
If there is a movie that should do fan service explicitly, it's this one, because we played all the freaking games. What the hell story do they have to tell?
Okay, I got to read some of these fucking critics. By the way, right now, as things stand, it is, let me go back real quick, 54% of the critics and 96% audience score. But let's read some of these critic things. You know, there's snippets.
Can I just point out something like really quickly that's kind of funny? Like, remember the last time they did a Mario movie that had like little to no fan service and how well that went down?
Yeah. Oh, Brian, I actually saw one, I think it was Forbes too, saying like, no, the 1993 movie's better than this shit. Like, wow. Nope. Okay. Anyway, so this is, I don't know who, Nick Johnson from Vinyaland. An 80-minute speed run through Mario World with little in the way of the fun that actually makes the video games themselves special, crammed full of generic fan service that will be lost on at least half the viewers. Another one, yeah, okay, bruh. Allison D'Souza, The Straight Times. The Super Mario movie's trite and forgettable storyline could have used a power up or three. Damn.
What do you guys want? Like, what revolutionary story like you could tell? And also, on the note that the other movie was better, I went back and I watched that movie, and while it was better than I remember it, it contains such fucking gems as the very first time the Mario Brothers show up in the world, an alarm goes off, and he goes, "Plumber alert! Plumber alert!" And I'm sitting there, I'm like, how the fuck do y'all even know what a plumber is? Much less have an entire side. Like, how did you sense the plumber? None of this makes any even try to make sense. He was like, fuck it. Throw it in there. Like, this movie cannot be worse than that. Bowser was a germaphobe who was a germaphobe businessman who constantly washed his hands.
One of the reviews said justice for Bob Hoskins.
Oh, God, Jesus. The Super Mario movie is like fruit striped gum. It's super colorful and eye-catching, but it seems to instantly lose its flavor and charm. The film is surprisingly dull when it isn't slapping you in the face with rainbow-colored nostalgia. Tedious in its articulation of the obvious, the Super Mario Brothers movie seems both precious about and unsure of its property's coherence. The Super Mario Brothers movie seems genuinely concerned with putting on an authentic experience for children and their parents alike. The first-rate production values almost seem this bland and soulless The first-rate production values almost redeem this bland, soulless blockbuster. Damn. Some of these people are like brutal. Yeah.
Did they just complain that this was a kid's film and they didn't like it?
Yes.
That's what it sounds like.
Yep.
What sort of weirdness is that? It's like, this is a kid's film. I don't like it. It's like, well, it's a kid's film. Like, you're not meant to like it as such. I don't know. Yeah. I have no idea.
I'll read this last one. The film is plastered with references, Easter eggs, and just about everything you can imagine from the game, so much so that the story is bare bones as Mario simply jumps from one colorful screen to the next without a care in the world.
That's the game.
That sounds like Super Mario Brothers.
Yeah.
Well, except for the nostalgia. One thing I did hear was a big issue is that there's a lot of needle drops in that film.
Like
a lot of famous. Yeah, playing All Star and all that other bullshit.
No, you gotta. What do you mean?
Hey now, you're an all-star. Get your game on.
No, I know. Like,
needle drops, where essentially you're playing, popular music within the movie. Like they'll be walking and then they'll play Cher's "Do You Believe in Love." That doesn't happen, but stuff like that.
Okay, I got you. Needle drop.
When the music lands a little on the nose.
Yeah, I don't. Yeah, I don't think anyone under 30 is gonna understand that reference.
Yeah, to be honest, some of the needle drops are older than most of the people that are probably watching the damn thing.
Yeah, right. Cher, do you believe in love? What the fuck?
That's not in it, but there are some other ones that are just the usual suspects of needle drops for kids' films.
yo, Shane Chef, I was wondering the same thing. Where's Blitz? Here I am defending the fucking Mario movie, and he's not around. Ain't that funny?
Where you at, Blitz?
Where you at, man? Now he's gonna come back next week, and I'm gonna be shitting on Nintendo. He's like, oh, there's Tony again. Oh, he's hating on Nintendo. Oh, that old Tony hater. It's like I'm defending right now, motherfucker. Oh well. But yeah, these critics are fucking like, and this is coming from me, like, wow, you guys are fucking jaded. Wow, like Jesus, it's a kids movie, guys. Chill the fuck out. They
were expecting this as deep narrative about the psychosis of Mario and Luigi.
Yeah, or Brian, maybe it didn't have enough of the message in it,
Possibly.
Also, I gotta say it. I'm wondering if some of this hate is coming from the fact that Mario is played by Chris Pratt, and I don't mean that he is not, the original. I'm talking about Chris Pratt. Some people in Hollywood don't like him. Which will be interesting to see when the new Guardians comes out. That'll be interesting.
He has a he's religious and
that's what it is,
and that whatever sect of Christianity or whatever he belongs to has done some controversial things. So obviously they believe that.
Oh, is he a Mormon?
I'm not a Mormon, but no, I forgot what it was, but it's some sort of it's some sort of offshoot of Christianity. Kind of like think Jehovah's Witnesses and Mormons and stuff like that. I can't remember what it was called.
The Guardians of the Galaxy Holiday Special got a positive review on Rotten Tomatoes.
So they'll probably like that. Oh shit, Manny, Chris Pratt's as old as us.
Yeah, he is. He's 42.
43 now, actually. Interesting. Yep. I want to know what religious sect he belonged. I thought he was just a regular ass Christian.
No, he belongs to some sort of funky offshoot. So.
Yeah, I thought he was like him.
That's why a lot of people don't. It's not because there are definitely other people that are Christian or Protestant.
Oh, he's a Lutheran. He's a Lutheran and later worked for Jews. Oh, Adam's favorite organization, Jews for Jesus.
So
he's a non-denominational Christian. What the fuck is that?
A non-denominational is almost like the Jehovah's Witnesses.
Oh, okay.
But not exactly the Jehovah's Witnesses, but it's like another, like another offshoot of it. It's a spinoff.
Yeah, it's a spinoff. I can't make heads of all this shit. But yeah, so yeah, Mario movie. Yeah, again, these people seem to be shitting on the fact that it's a kids movie. What do you expect, man? Fucking weird. All right, let's move on here. Oh God. Guess who left Google?
Is it time? Yes, it's time.
Yes, there you go. Stadia's over.
I was waiting for the story.
Yeah, we got to talk about Phil Harrison, our boy Phil
I didn't
Harrison.
Know this.
So Phil Harrison officially has left Google after the death of Stadia. Man.
It is coming at the right time. Looks like Google's gaming division is about to be reborn or resurrect, should I say.
Yeah, well, they probably want to get rid of him. Obviously, that got asked the obvious question. What is going to be the next thing he kills, This guy's the Grim Reaper of gaming, Hey, Brian, get in here, man. Say something about Phil Harrison.
Yeah. I didn't know it was this bad, but you guys are right. This guy just, everything that he touches just turns to crap somehow, and it's amazing. So I just want to see where he's going next. I really hope he goes to either... he's been at Microsoft, right?
He's been at Microsoft, go to Amazon,
PlayStation.
He's got a gaming division at Amazon to kill.
Yeah, Brian, he was there.
Or Netflix.
Yeah, he was there on PlayStation with the PS3 days. He was there, Microsoft. Everything he touches just like shrivels.
Yeah. So what's Nintendo next? Oh.
Yeah.
Nintendo won't take him.
No, they won't.
Nintendo won't take him. It's got to be a company.
We do not want your trash.
Hell no. it's gonna be like a company that doesn't know much about gaming that's going to pick them up next. So it's going to be either Amazon.
That'd be stupid to do that. Yeah.
Or Netflix. There you
God.
go.
I think
Netflix. Yeah. I think Netflix makes sense. Hey, announcing our new CEO, Phil Harrison. Oh shit!
Because it's all about they probably don't know what his history is, and they're like, all right, this guy used to work for Microsoft and PlayStation and Google.
Exactly,
let's get him.
Yeah,
they'll just see the outlines. Oh, Microsoft, Google, all of these awesome companies.
Yeah,
wow,
that's what they'll
impressive resume.
Wow.
And then he goes to Netflix gaming division, and then the gamer is going to be like, oh shit, here we go.
You know what?
again.
You know what we need. What you need to do is you need to weaponize Phil Harrison. Essentially, send him to companies that you. Yeah, weaponize Phil Harrison. If you want, if you just want to clear the battlefield, right? You just send him over to one of those companies.
Send him to
hey,
China.
look, this guy, and then boom, it's gone.
No, but you're right. That's how these companies think. How do you think Joel McHale kept getting fucking gigs for gaming shows? Like, hey, he did this show, he did this show, he did this show. Get him. It's like, no, we don't like this guy. He's not funny.
Yeah.
Fucking hilarious, man. So yeah, Phil Harrison. I'm looking forward to seeing what you kill next, bruh. What else do we have here? Oh, the last story of the night. I threw this one in for me. Because I'm happy about this. So the Final Fantasy Pixel Remaster is finally coming to consoles, people. PS4 and Switch. And the best part, they changed the font. That was the big sticking point with this collection. Like, people were pissed off about the font. Because the font looked fucking terrible. It was the same font that they used for the mobile games, But now they restored it. It looks nice. And they're even adding some more features that aren't in the PC version, which I hope get brought over to the PC version, where just like Bravely Default, you could actually adjust the parameters of the battles. Like, for example, let's say you're doing level grinding, you could turn up the difficulty if you want. You could turn it down. You could raise the XP. You could lower it, raise the money, lower it, or completely erase it. So you could basically tailor the game to how you want, which is cool. It's like, if okay, here's level grinding time, let me turn up the XP all the way, grind a lot, and then like when you go through the story, just turn off the encounters, go through it and stuff. So this is pretty dope, And I've been talking about how I wanted remasters of the first 6 Final Fantasy games forever. I was happy when they released the original one on PC, but I was pissed off about the font. I got a mod for that shit just to fix it because it looked terrible. And shout out to the modding community, man. They got on that real quick. Like one day later after the game released, they had the font ready. But this is cool. I'm happy about it. I believe it's coming out April 14th. And the interesting thing is, because obviously on PC it's just digital, but they will have a physical version of this. I'll still get it digital though, On PS4, we ain't fucking with no Switch, So,
isn't it on the Switch?
No,
it's on the Switch and the PlayStation 4.
No. I said I will be getting it on PS4 because I ain't fucking with no Switch, I need my trophies, baby.
Play that on dust off your old PlayStation 4.
Yeah, no, I got a PS5.
I know.
I'll upscale it to 4K, 60 frames a second.
Yeah, man.
Ray tracing.
Oh God. Yeah, they also added rebound. They also rebalanced all the games to essentially bring back the way they were before.
Yeah, and
so
also you could
back.
Yeah. Because it is like they rebalance it to make it easier, but you can also make it hard like it used to be if you want, and also the music, you could switch back and forth between the old music and the new music because they did a really good job with the new music.
As well as the pixel art, you can switch it to the older pixel art,
which is pretty cool, So I'm happy about that. Who else is interested in this? And Brett, I'm looking at you because I know you love Final Fantasy VI.
I mean, kind of sure, baby.
Yeah,
you're not going to get it.
Yeah, I got to get it.
That doesn't sound like enthusiasm.
I'm kind of got a bit of series fatigue with it, and like I just Final Fantasy lost me a while ago.
But it's the old ones. It's not the new ones.
It's the ones you love.
I know, and that's I'll be honest. That's the part that I admit. I'm like, doesn't really make sense. Like, would I like to go back and play Final Fantasy VI again? Yeah, but I don't know. Like, something about the re-release of 7 rubbed me the wrong way. Like, I liked it, but it also just kind of feel like it took a shine off the apple somehow. It's tough to put into words, and I'm probably the only person that feels that way.
Interesting. That is an interesting take.
I felt like 7 just kind of lost some of the magic. And I know that this would be different, but I don't know.
Yeah.
I'm not too interested in that one.
You good, Carlos?
Yeah, it's the sprite looking one, right?
Yeah, it is. Yeah.
Yeah, sometimes it can turn me off with those types of character designs.
I mean, what's different on this than the other times that they've re-released it?
The main thing is, like, aside from all the things I just mentioned right now, it's like the sprites are made to look more closer to what they originally looked like, but still be updated because they're all consistent now, because every time they've re-released these, they haven't been consistent. Also, the fact that you get all 6 of them in one bundle where you can't before, because, like, for example, 4 and 5 were different. No, excuse me, 3 and 4 were like fucking like 3D, especially 3. They had 2 versions of 4. It was just a really jumbled mess. Like, if you wanted to just get all the original ones in one package, you finally have it, you know?
I think that right there actually explains my fatigue. Like, it has been such a clusterfuck of different versions releasing. Oh, that this is a little bit different. Oh, they packaged it with this one, and they tweaked this. Like, motherfucker, like, you've been taking baby steps, and then you're like, look how far we've come. Like, yeah, but I mean...
Well, Brett, this is why
there's nothing new here. Yeah. It's just it's a remix and a bundle again. Like, I'm.
Well, it's not again. The bundle part is the new part, because again, I've been yelling about this for years. I'm like, can you please give me a bundle of these 6 games just pixelized? I don't want no fucking 3D. I don't want this bullshit. Just give me one package, all the games to be pixelized, and they finally did it. You know. Because you're right, it's been a mess. It's been a mess. It's like, if you wanted to just play the original Final Fantasy VI, it's been a pain in the fucking ass. You know?
Yeah, and I guess that's why I'm just like, shit. I'm just fatigued. Like, I've been down this road so many times, and maybe once it's in front of me, I'll be like, oh, this is an easy way to experience the game that I loved as a child. But like, man, like, after you've been down this road like a million times, it's just kind of
Yeah, I mean, we've had just a ton of versions of Final Fantasy 4 alone, you know? But I'm happy they're just in. I mean, I already own this on PC, but I'll buy it again, because I've been wanting this for years.
How much is it? That's a big question.
Oh, I think it's $75.
What?
Oh, damn.
God damn it.
Yeah, which is what it costs on PC if you buy them all, like, because they're selling them piecemeal, which is stupid to me. I'm like, why don't you sell the shit for $40, bruh? You know?
Because I can get more money if they piecemeal. Like, it feels like you're robbing me from my childhood, man. Like, it's not like that way for a minute.
Yeah, that was the thing I was gonna get to. Like, I will wait until the shit drops down to like $20.
Yeah, it's interesting with Square and Final Fantasy. Like, the only thing that's in my tunnel vision right now is 16 and 7 remake, part 2. That's all.
Final Fantasy 7 too.
Yeah, Final Fantasy 7 too.
Yeah, no, I'm waiting for that, man. All right, that's it for news. So let's get into what we've been playing. Brett, you jump in first. You were telling me something cool before the show started.
Well, I have to get my ass kicked by Wulong, like, all over the goddamn place.
Yeah, tell us about the game.
This is some market level shit. Okay, so Wulong is a game by Team Ninja, the guys who brought us Ninja Gaiden, and oh boy, you can tell. It definitely has a Ninja Gaiden feel to it, but it's kind of blended with the Souls-like formula, you know, for some real interesting results. It is very hard, but also the level of bullshit is definitely up there with the classic Ninja Gaiden games. And it doesn't really feel like Dark Souls. It doesn't feel like any Souls-like. It feels kind of more like the recent Jedi game than anything else. Yeah, Jedi Fallen Order mixed with Ninja Gaiden. It relies pretty heavily on parries, but weirdly in a less annoying way than Sekiro did. Like it's easier to catch the parries, but then just the random flailing of some monsters. I'm like, how am I supposed to catch like all 8 of these fucking parries? Meanwhile, my stamina bar, like, there's definitely a level of bullshit to it. It's not as like polished as say Elden Ring. Kind of more close to some of the original Souls games. Like a lot of the game is not intuitive, but it's kind of fun figuring out some of it, and it's got an interesting system, and it's got some cool wizardry, and like the pacing on it is pretty cool, where you have to land basic attacks on enemies to kind of, you don't have stamina or mana. What you have is this kind of spirit gauge that goes in the negative or the positive, and as you land regular light hits on enemies, it goes up, and then expending your heavy attack called spirit attacks, or casting magic, or using a weapon art, those all cost spirit. So you kind of have to, it makes for a very aggressive kind of Bloodborne style combat, where each time you deflect or cast or do anything other than hit, it costs spirit, and then you need to land hits on them to build spirit up. And this includes like your dodging, so you can cast too much magic and then not be able to fucking dodge. And then if you get caught with your stamina all the way down, it breaks your stance. Whereas if your stamina is in the positive, when you throw attacks, you get damage bonuses. So it's really kind of about managing this kind of hectic balls to the wall. Like if you're getting your ass kicked, you can't just step back and kind of take a moment and play on the defensive a minute, because you're not getting your fucking powers unless you're wailing on the person. So for the most part, it's been really good. I know Adam kind of noped the fuck out of it. But once you got past the first boss, which was definitely, a bit tough, but then you're like, oh, it's a game about a lot of parrying and kind of building up momentum. Okay, I get that. Plot through the first 3 levels pretty quick. There's like multiple stages per level. And then I got to this fucking bison motherfucker, and I just had been stuck on him for 2 days. And I went and I was like, what the fuck is up with this guy? He's just one-shot me. What is my problem? And the internet consensus is, oh yeah, that guy's a bastard. He'll one-shot you. So, cool. Just gotta get good again in a different game. That's fine. It'll be okay.
Get gooder.
Yeah. So, who knows? Maybe by the time I go back to Elden Ring, I'll suddenly be able to parry all the time now. So, because I've never been a big parry god, but like, well, here's the thing about it. 1, the parry window is pretty generous. 2, the only attacks that you can't parry literally glow red. So it's kind of the same as it. If you're fine with it in God of War, then you're going to be fine with it here. And the big, I would say it's very much the same. And I want to say I think the reason is, I think in a lot of these games, if you're allowed to block and try and parry at the same time, it's much more forgiving. Because all that you get for missing your parry is you block instead of parry. You see? When you have to like risk the parry, just when you have to choose either or, then you're just like, well, I'm just eating these hits now. That's not any fun.
Shit.
So as long as you don't deal with that in the red ones, then you're fine. But again, it kind of feels like very Ninja Gaiden-y. Gaiden.
Yeah, we used to say Gaiden, now it's Gaiden, but yeah, we know, I know what you mean. See that part, I'm like, I don't know if I want to subject myself to that. Again, I've gotten to the point when it comes to these like Souls-like games, I'm like, I'll accept no substitute. Like if it's not by From Software, Miyazaki, I'm like, yeah, I'm good.
But the thing is, it doesn't feel like a Souls game. Like it's definitely taken some inspiration from it. There are flags that you kind of get to, and they act as your checkpoints throughout the level. But again, like, checkpoints aren't really something that the Souls genre came up with. They just kind of revived it. You know, a lot of 3D games didn't have, they kind of abandoned checkpoints, and they kind of just brought it back. So I don't think there's anything wrong with checkpoints. I don't think there's anything wrong with the idea of getting XP. You do drop some of your accrued, like half of your accrued XP every time you die, and then you have a chance to go back and get the last run. So it's a bit more forgiving than that. It also has this weird morale mechanic where you, the more you die, the lower your morale becomes. The more you kill people, the higher morale becomes, and that just makes you take less damage and deal more. So, like, you're kind of incentivized to just go around kicking everybody's ass before you run and hit the boss. You know, kick ass, take some names.
Yeah, aggressive style, basically.
Yeah. Get to the boss feeling good, be like, I just kicked the shit out of everybody out of the way here, and now you're next, motherfucker. So it's fun. Like, it feels more like an evolution of a Team Ninja game than it does a version of a Soulsborne game. Does that make sense?
It actually does make sense. Interesting.
So if you enjoy Team Ninja games, and I'll be honest, the weird thing to me is, like, there's been very little talk about this, and I'm not sure if it's just because it kind of flew under the radar. I'm like, this is a Team Ninja game. Like, Team Ninja, like, I kind of feel like their games at least were kind of big deals. I always look forward to them. And this one delivers as a Team Ninja game. So if you didn't know, now you know. Try it out. It's fun as fuck.
You know. Yeah. I mean, I've heard people talk about this game like a lot, but not as much as like Sekiro. That was the game that everybody was fucking talking about forever. But you're right. This one, it seemed to me like there was a lot of hype for it before it came out. Then it came out, and then no one talked about it as much.
It feels very Japanese, but again, that's kind of how Team Ninja games feel.
Yeah. Okay. Cool stuff. All right. Brian, what have you been playing lately?
Nothing much really. Just continuing some Outriders. Just going through that, and that's really it. This week wasn't really playing games week. It was just kind of catching up on manga week. So nothing.
Brian, how do you read manga?
On my phone.
Ah, interesting.
I have a phone, Blizzard. I have a phone.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was just wondering if you read it on like a e-reader or something.
I would like one. Just because I think I think with manga it needs to have a good size screen, and again phones don't really do it justice. So I think like a good maybe like 8-inch screen would be nice. So yeah. I think that would like probably not perfect size, but it would be like optimal size, like 8 to 9 inches type screen should be. So yeah, in case people are wondering, it's Dan. It's like Fooly Cooly, like current year. It's pretty good. Definitely recommend it. Yeah. Outriders. I don't think I'll be finishing that soon. It's just fine. That's the problem. It's just fine.
I stopped playing it after I reviewed it, and like after 35 hours, it's like I think I'm good. I don't need to play this anymore.
Yeah, it's just all right. But I'll pick up something next. I was thinking going back to Hi-Fi Rush or maybe doing Doom Eternal finally.
Ooh. Doom Eternal's fucking awesome, man.
That's the problem.
It's fucking amazing.
Hi-Fi Rush is short.
Then Doom Eternal is Doom Eternal.
Yes.
If it's anything like the other Doom, then it's going to be great.
It's like the other Doom, but bigger. You'll see it's like big, That's a game I still like, because that's like one of my main test games when I'm testing new like systems and stuff. And Brian, I think you'll like my methodology, right? When I'm testing like a new laptop or a PC or whatever, I always play Doom Eternal and Cyberpunk, right? Here's my reasoning. One of the best optimized games ever, Doom Eternal. One of the worst optimized games, Cyberpunk. Let's see how the system handles them, Although Cyberpunk is obviously in a better state now. But yeah, good stuff. As for myself, I haven't been playing anything. Like I was playing some Resident Evil 4, but I stopped because I'm working on some like personal project stuff. I'm almost nearing that. So after I finish that, I'll start playing some Resident Evil 4. And I will be playing Jedi Fallen Order or Survivor or whatever it's called when it comes out, or maybe before. Wink, wink. So I will be playing games soon. So stay tuned for that. That's all I can say right now. Manny, have you been playing anything?
No, I've been too busy doing other things. Lots of stuff coming up in the coming weeks.
Yeah, with that money. And Carlos, have you been playing anything?
No, but I will be playing Jedi Fallen Order this weekend, finally.
Oh,
so
shit,
this is the
let's
weekend. Gonna try to beat it starting the weekend, try to beat it through that next week in preparation for the next installment.
Yeah, no, that's good. I think you'll like it. Like you and I have the kind of same taste in games. I think you'll like it. You know, it's good stuff.
Looking forward to it.
Yeah, you'll like it. I guess because the new game's coming out, I've seen a lot more people posting themselves playing the old game, and I'm like, oh yeah, this is fucking awesome. You know,
Am I, baby?
am I, baby? You know. All right, people. So we are done here. I'm guessing there's nothing to plug because no, I am Negan and all that good stuff.
No, it's the hiatus.
The nuke.
The nuke.
Oh man. Anyway, make sure you follow Throwdown on Twitch and Twitter. Join the Discord where the conversations and the rumors are always popping. And again, shout out to you guys in the Discord for always posting stories, because I literally get all our gaming stories of every week from you guys. So it's a big help, you know. Seriously, because I can't just, you know, because of work, I'm like not on Twitter as much as I used to be. So you guys help out a lot. It's great. Also, make sure you find Throwdown on your favorite podcast app, Throwdown Show, throwdownshow.com to listen to past episodes. And if you've been listening to us and watching us on YouTube and enjoyed the content, make sure you hit like, subscribe, and hit the bell to be notified of when our premieres go live. Links to everything down below. Once again, I was your host, Tony Polanco, and tonight I was joined by Emilio Lopez.
See you next time.
Carlos Romero.
Peace out.
Brett Murdoch.
Deuces.
And Brian Majoma.
So we've reached a point now where mixed race people are somehow racist. Really, D&D?
Oh, wow. Okay, we had to talk about that off air. All right, people. We will see you on Sunday. Later.
Peace.